Hello. Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
On the line, yo.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
Hi,
sir.
sir.
You are here.
Hello, sir. Hello,
You
sir.
are here.
We are listening, yo.
Hello. Happy Sunday, sir.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Someone should answer.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Hello. Hello. Good evening. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Adetiba, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Ipadiola, can you hear me as well?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly, sir.
All right. Akibi,
Yes.
Akibi, what about you? Can you hear me? Unmute and speak. If you can hear me, can you please unmute and speak?
I can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good
All right.
evening, sir. We
I want
can
to
hear
confirm.
I
you.
can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
Since why are you people since? I've been asking whether I want, because I wanted to confirm if you people are here so that I will not be talking to the empty class. All right. Good evening, and you are welcome to this evening class.
Thank you,
I
sir.
think between yesterday and today, I want to believe that you had a fantastic weekend.
Yes,
Anyhow,
sir.
for those of you that attended church services today, I believe you had a good time, nice time in your various churches.
Yes,
I
sir.
understand that was why we had to shift the class to this time, even though it's not that convenient, but at the same time, I will have to find time to engage you people. So we are moving on from where we stopped yesterday. Can someone just give us a recap of what we did yesterday? In 1-2 minutes, recap of what we were able to touch yesterday, so that we were on the same page. Any volunteer? Any volunteer? Any volunteer? Yes, any volunteer? Okay, if there is no volunteer, I will pick someone to speak then. If no one is ready to say anything. If Oluwa, were you in class yesterday? Can you tell us? Give us any tips of what we had yesterday. Or more than speak. Oh, no one is speaking. Oh, if you're okay, go ahead. If Oluwa.
So yesterday, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Yesterday we spoke about confidentiality.
Network is not your friend over there. Ifeoma, can you please unmute? Let's hear from Ifeoma. We can't hear you, Ifeoluwa. Ifeoma, if you are there,
hello,
say
sir.
something.
Yes, I'm here. I'm even though I joined late. Just like she was about.
Is it?
Hello,
is
can
it
you hear me,
network?
sir? Can you hear me?
We hardly hear you.
I caught something yesterday from the.
Right. If your mind is not in the class.
Okay, I said what I got yesterday was on ethics and moral obligations of a social worker. Just like she was about talking about confidentiality, what is needed for what a social worker needed to have at his or her back of mind while performing her professional duties.
Okay, please go ahead. Ifema, we are listening.
Yes, when you talk about confidentiality, number
Is it
one,
network at your hand or at my hand here?
it should be from yours
right.
because I'm hearing you clearly.
Farida.
I'm hearing you clearly, sir.
Farida.
Can you hear me?
Hello, Rashida.
Anyway.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello. What's international? We're talking about, despite the fact that I came here to join the class because of I'm battling with election duty, and I've jotted some points which I can still make to refer back to. Plans of confidentiality like a trust and respect, privacy and presentation, journalism and ethics, safety and sensitivity, competency and conditional compliance with the laws and regulation. Of money. Basic joint up.
Hello. Hello. Can we proceed now? Hello. I want to confirm if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe this network is bad.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Somebody should speak, please.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you now, yeah.
That's fine. I'm trying to change my device. Network has been very... Sorry, I'm trying to... Hello? Hello, can you hear now?
Yes, sir. We can hear
Okay.
you.
Thank you. I have to change that device. It seems there is an issue with my first device. So I was trying to call on Ifeoma to give us a recap. Ifeoluwa couldn't speak up.
So Ifeoma, I think Ifeoma was trying to give us some tips. Because I asked for a volunteer, nobody volunteer. Can we get a volunteer now?
Yes, sir. I can contribute, sir.
Please do.
Yes, sir. That's why the fact that I came late to join the class because of the election due to that I'm on yesterday. But I was able to capture some area that you are talking about confidentiality and the importance of confidentiality. Confidentiality. One, trust and respect. Talking about privacy and presentation, professionalism and ethics, safety and sensitivity, compliance with laws and regulation. So all those things you make you expatiate the explanation yesterday, but due to I divide my mind to two, so that I couldn't have but I could be able to join take some point, which at least I believe. So that's what I can contribute, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Someone is using two devices, please. I don't know who is using two devices. We are using two devices. You can please remove one. Chief Agi, please kindly remove one so that it will not be echoing. Or you lower the volume. You reduce the volume to the lowest level so that it will not be echoing. Okay, thank you. Today we are moving straight away to, since we have your material, we are moving straight away to advocacy. Of course, if you look at your material where we have what is advocacy, you will see a picture by the right. You see someone with C-ISOWN jacket, standing. You see that person, I mean, that group of people or that group of person which this man led to that particular agency, they were paying advocacy visit to that particular agency. So I cannot actually say this is the agency, but we can see the picture of the former president. You can see the picture of another person, maybe the governor of that state. I want to believe it's one of the eastern states in 2023. I mean, 2022, 2021, 2022, thereabouts. The institute was paying an advocacy visit to that particular ministry or the commissioner of that ministry or the head of service in that state, something like that. So that picture was there. I think it was the head of service, maybe Delta or Anambra State, one of these eastern states. I cannot remember vividly because the picture is not labeled. So you will see that when you have an advocacy visit, what does it mean? What is advocacy? You see, advocacy simply means actively supporting a cause and trying to get others to support it as well. You believe in a cause and you want another person to believe as you have also believed. That what people say this day, that you want other people to key in into your own idea. You're looking at a way of influencing others' behavior towards your own cause. It's like you are advocating. I mean, it's like you are trying to be an intermediary between someone that is in need of help, someone that desires an intervention, someone that requires a kind of assistance. So you want to stand in between that person. But that person has no direct link with where he or she can get the required support. So you're going to mediate. You're going to find a way of linking that your service user to that particular person or agency or anyone you feel at the other end that can be of assistance. So advocacy is speaking up, drawing attention to an important issue and directing decision makers towards a solution. So you speaking up on behalf of that. You may represent an organization. You may also speak on behalf of others. So I will give you a practical example which everyone will be expected to contribute. by the time before we finish this particular aspect of the class. Advocates use every opportunity to support their cause or issue. Every opportunity that you know that you can make use of, you use it to support whatever cause or issue you are trying to address. Advocacy is a process, not an event. It's not just an event that you just take up anyhow, but it's a process. You know, in a process, it means that you have to take a step before you take another step. It means up of several steps. That is why it is a process. You cannot just begin and end immediately. So it is a marathon, not a sprint that you can just do once and for all. Who is an advocate? Who is an advocate? You will also, social worker, mostly, we are advocates. Why are we advocates? Because, number one, you cannot provide all the assistance your service user will require. It's not possible. Even if you are a philanthropist, you cannot provide all we need. Even government cannot do it all for us. All we need, government cannot do it. That's what government usually looks for: collaboration. Government looks for partnership. Government looks for partnership with private sectors, because government cannot do it alone. Even apart from private sector, government also requires, government most time even do enter into alliance with the public. You ask me how. These are the various community development unions, associations that we have at the community level. They serve as a link between the community and the government. Because government cannot do it alone, they embark on some communal projects to augment what government, or to complement what government will be doing for that community. Because government cannot provide all the needs of the community. That is why we have various clubs, various groups, various pressure groups coming together to turn unions to come together to do something, to provide some amenities. Even at times they build roads, they construct school buildings, they bring in health facilities into their community. Whereas it is the primary responsibility of government to do that, but they still need support. But that support cannot just come. Somebody will be there to mediate. Somebody will be there to serve as link between that community and the government before anything can be done in that community. So an advocate is someone who speaks on behalf of a cause or proposal. The advocate may be an individual or an organization like this. The example that we had in the first slide, that example typically represents the head of membership department of the institute, who incidentally is the coordinator of this program. Then he led a group of social workers on behalf of the institute to a state out of many states. I have joined so many visits as well. I've joined the institute, I've represented the institute at Abuja, in Sokoto, in Kebbi, on advocacy visits, in Bauchi, in Lagos, in Oyo State, and so on and so forth, even in Ondo State. Sometimes we'll combine together, sometimes we'll go on our own different way to represent the institute. We become advocates at that level. We advocate for the ideas. We advocate for the cause that we in the institute believe in. So because we want others to buy into what we have. And I know maybe as a result of some of these advocacy visits or advocacy programs that the institute has instituted, that is when some of you got to know about the institute. That made it easy for you to take a decision to join, this particular program. That is in a way to promoting social work practice. So advocates use every opportunity to support their cause. Advocate is a process, like I said the other time, and it's not just an event. What are the purposes of advocacy? The purpose of advocacy is to promote or reinforce a change in policy, program, or legislation, rather than providing support directly to the clients or users of services. This is what I earlier explained, that you are trying to be a link. If you are an advocate, you are trying to be a link between your service user, in this case, the clients, and those that you know will be of assistance that can support that particular service users. In this case, it may be in terms of policy, it may be in terms of program, it may be in terms of legislation. For instance, if in your state there is a law about female genital mutilation, and there are certain aspects or clauses in that particular law that will not promote well the well-being of people with disability, or those that are disadvantaged, or those that are special population. You may raise an advocacy team to visit the legislature, the House of Assembly in this case, on the need to amend those particular or those clauses that you have identified, not to make the legislation implementable effectively. You can form an advocacy team and you can pay an advocacy visit. Instead of reaching out directly to the users, to the end beneficiary, you can do that advocacy. It can be in terms of policy. I mentioned yesterday policy formulation process in person, that as social worker, we are expected to be part of policy formulation process. We are expected to know what strategies are put in place to implement certain policies. We are, especially as it affects social welfare, you need to know all these areas. So if you have identified, if you have seen any policy that is not that effectively implemented, or not being implemented as planned or as formulated, it is the duty of social worker to raise voice on behalf of the vulnerable that policy will impact on. Advocacy aims at winning support from others. You try to create a supportive environment and you want to win support for others. Remember, you are doing that on behalf of some other people that you believe are at disadvantage, people you believe that are marginalized, people you believe that are not being taken care of properly. Those people are the other edge. So you need to consider them. So you're trying to win support for them, and by creating a kind of a conducive environment. These are issues for advocacy. If you look at the picture, you see that the picture by the right, you see a number of people raising some issues. So this one is Nigeria Unite Against Terror. This is a particular group trying to do advocacy for get child education, to encourage people get child education in the society. So they were together at a conference and they tried to raise advocacy. How do I call it this time? They're trying to raise advocacy so that people will get to know what their organization stands for. And these are issues that are considered in advocacy. Domestic violence against women, you hear of violence against women. Of course, we also record violence against men, but that one is always underreported. It is that of the women that we hear almost every time. Sexual abuse, early marriage of girls, that is early marriage, especially in the northern part of the country, gender disparities in education, social welfare for the aged, female genital mutilation, like I mentioned. You know, some of these states, You know, the female genital mutilation, you know, is also a problem. It's also a problem in our society that subconsciously encourage female genital mutilation. Of course, there have been laws in different states that actually that speak or that were enacted or domesticated in consonance with what we have at the national level or from the National Assembly as an act that talks about it. Most states, they have this. Enhancing gender equity, equality, and empowerment of women, promoting reproductive health and rights, population and development linkages, mobilizing and monitoring resources, environmental degradation, and so on and so forth. Building your advocacy strategy. When you want to build your advocacy strategy, you know, because we say advocacy is a process, it's not a sprint, it's not an event. Before you can build your advocacy strategy, there are certain things you need to put into consideration. In this case, we're talking about advocacy plan. You need to have a plan. You know, this common say of if you fail to plan, definitely if you fail to plan, which means one is preparing to fail. So creating an advocacy plan helps to understand the situation, stakeholders, to understand their relative power, to understand how change happens. When you plan your advocacy, you want to identify target audiences, the right messages, the right messenger to deliver the message. You want to identify processes. You want to identify opportunities. You want to identify entry points. You also want to recognize capacity and gaps. What capacity do you have as a social worker? What capacity do you have as a group? What capacity do you have as an organization? And what are the gaps that you have noticed that you want to bridge? Then with this plan, you can easily set your goals and interim outcomes. When you set goals, definitely you have the objectives and you have strategies for achieving those goals. If you don't set any goal, you just be wondering all about because you are not expecting to have any outcome. You develop this when you have a plan, it will help you develop an action plan as well, and it will also help you to monitor and evaluate results. It will help you to monitor and evaluate results. When you are planning your strategy in advocacy, what are those things that you need to put into consideration that will help you achieve all of listed above? The following 9 questions are essential for planning your strategy. You put these following 9 questions at the back of your mind to guide whatever you want to do. 1, these questions are: 1, you ask yourself, what do we want? By embarking on advocacy, what do you want? What's your goal? What do we want? What do you want to achieve? What exactly do you need from where you want to pay an advocacy visit to? Who can make it happen? You need to identify those that can make it happen. Remember, I talked about stakeholders and their relative power. Stakeholders and their relative power, you can identify them when you understand the situation. What do they need to hear? You pay an advocacy visit, you need to streamline what exactly they need to hear from you. Meaning that you must be able to tell them new things, not what they have known. If you begin to tell them what they already know, they may lose interest in your advocacy. What do they need to hear? Who do they need to hear it from? Are you the right source? Are you the right source to give that information? You can make that happen when you have the knowledge of what you are doing advocacy on. When you have adequate knowledge, in this case, you have adequate knowledge and you have right attitude. So that will help them to understand why you are there, and that will enable you to influence whoever you are meeting. Then how can we make sure they hear it? How can we make sure they hear what you want to say? How can we make sure? Which means you have to consider those things, those factors that make it easy for them to hear you. What do we have? What's your capacity? What are the resources at your disposal that you can tell them? All right, we are doing advocacy on behalf of the female genital mutilation victims or people affected with fistula. You are doing that. Do you have adequate knowledge about fistula? What exactly do you also have to support these people? Are you giving them social support? Are you trying to give them a kind of psychosocial support? Are you trying to have you tried to rehabilitate them in a way? Or what has been your role that will enable you to have a basis to embark on that advocacy program? Then what do we need? What are those gaps? What are those things that you need to ensure that your service user will benefit from that particular advocacy? How do we begin to take action? You now decide, how do we take action? How do we begin? You decide how you begin to take action. How can we tell if it is working? That is talking about monitoring and evaluation. Because how do you measure the objective of that advocacy? You need to design all this as part of your plan. As part of your plan, how can we tell if that particular strategy you have developed or you have designed is actually working? So these are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself when doing advocacy. So building your advocacy strategy, I think I've explained that. You need to know where do we want to have, is it a local, state, or federal? Is it a legislative issue or an administrative one? It is a policy matter, or it is the one that you need to see some policy makers, or you need to see the lawmakers, and so on and so forth. Do you need to see security agencies? Do you need to see philanthropists? Do you need to see agencies that look after the right of any human being or any citizen? Do you need to engage some agencies that actually give out assistance in such respect? Do you need to consult some banks, private sectors? All these are questions you have to ask yourself. Who can address the issue for you in the correct venue? That is talking about who will do that, who can deliver the message. So you need to develop your request as well. Make it clear and succinct. Provide a clear rationale and support your request with evidence, statistics, and reports. You set your goal like I explained. What is your desired outcome? What outcome alternative will be acceptable? Now crafting your message. You're already on advocacy now. You want to craft your message. While crafting your message, you need to clearly and specifically state your request. Clearly and specifically state your request. Don't give a general expression of request. Make it specific, because some organizations will ask you, the head or the person you are paid advocacy to may ask you, what exactly do you want us to do? Maybe when they are confused about your grammar, about your oratory power you're trying to exhibit before them. No one is interested in that. They're only interested in the message. They want to hear you clearly. So you should not use that occasion to say you want to demonstrate that you can speak good English or you can speak a particular language fluently. No one is looking at that. Don't forget the message. In public speaking, you talk about the essence of the message, the essence, the import of the message, or the real message, the main message that you want to pass. That is why when you see people making advertisements on national televisions, they will just make that advertisement within 1 minute or 1 or 2 minutes. Within that 1 or 2 minutes, if they start saying, and all the preliminaries, the message will be lost. But they go straight to the point they are trying to pass to the people to know. So the same thing, that is what you do in advocacy. You clearly and specifically state your request. What do you want them to do? E.g., vote for a bill or change a regulation. You need not wait for them to tell you what exactly do you want us to do for you. You need to say it while you are telling it, while you are making your message, while you are passing your message across to them. You provide a sound rationale. Why do you want them to do it? Why? Why do you want them to do it? E.g., what good or bad result will occur? You need to justify. That is it. Justify why you are getting in touch with them. Explain the implications for constituents who will be helped. What are the implications for the service users? Patient care will be improved in the official district because of X, Y, or Z. Then, if the request will cost money, explain the cost and how you expect your request to be funded. How you expect your request to be funded if it will involve money. If you want money from them, let them know that we request funding from you. We have done our part. We've been able to identify these people that are in need of support, that are in need of social support or social protection support. These are what we have done. We've been able to identify them. We have organized them. We've been coordinating them for some time. We have housed them. But what we need now is their empowerment. We want your ministry to support them with provision of some materials. And this will cost us so amount. Then they will listen to you. Then communicating your requests. You already have the message. How do you communicate? How do you let them know what exactly you are passing across? You know, in communication, I don't know whether there used to be a communication skill and something in this program. I wouldn't know whether you have been exposed to it now. I don't know. But communication, the communication skill in social work needs to be mastered very well. You need to determine the individual group to whom you will make your request. You need to determine the kind of individual. Your audience will determine the kind of communication you will pass. If you are going to someone that does not speak your language and you want to speak and he doesn't understand any other language that you understand, you need to bring in someone that understands that language, that can speak it to the hearing, to the understanding of that value of that individual you want to visit. Coordinate your request. Determine who else will you notify, who may be able to influence the outcome. You need some staff that can influence that outcome. Determine when and how you will follow up. Respective persistence often carries the day. When you try to emphasize what you want and you have the follow-up, it's not that you pay a visit today and you just forget about it, thinking that you are the only person on that person's mind, on that agency's schedule. No, you are not the only. You are one of thousands who have come to them. So you need to do a kind of a follow-up. Develop timelines and assignment of responsibility. Don't say, I want to do it alone, because you are the lead. You are the team lead. You want to do it all alone. That is why you are a team lead. You need to involve others. That is why you are a team. You need to involve others to also participate very well in what you want to do. So the message you are passing, you need to polish your message as well. Remember, make it clear, concise, compelling, and personal. Personal in the sense that let it look like that thing affects you. That's the kind of assistance, the kind of support you want to give to that person. Let the empathy sow in you. Make it personal. Let the empathy sow in you that thing touches you as well. And your host will also buy in when they see this in your message. Who are the stakeholders of advocacy? So we talk about the beneficiaries, the stakeholders, in this case, our service users, decision makers, partners, adversary as well, community heads and leaders, group leaders, and so on and so on. So many, depending on the kind of advocacy you are trying to put forward. You need to connect with the stakeholders as well, know who your government leaders are. You need to know them before you can pay them advocacy fees. Techniques and tactics of advocacy. You sensitize, you mobilize, you dialogue, you negotiate, you lobby, you petition, you pressurize, and you also involve. These are techniques that you use in advocacy. All these, I believe you know them very, you understand them very well. So these are techniques that we use. When you negotiate, it's different from you lobbying. They say they lobby the National Assembly. When you lobby, it does not mean that you have to pay money, you have to do some other things. But when you lobby, you try to carry yourself into that particular program and let them see why you have to do it. Before we get the Institute Act, enacted at the National Assembly, we did a lot of lobbying. Lobbying in the sense that we lobby those members of the National Assembly that we feel will buy into our ideas. The kind of lobby is not the lobbying with Ghana must go. It's the lobbying with ideas. Lobbying with let them understand what we have at our hand, what we also profess, what we think the acts, the impact we feel the act will also have on the entire Nigerian state. So let's look at all this. These are techniques that we use in advocacy. So, and these are very, very effective. So the techniques is also. What are the roadblocks to advocacy? What are the barriers to advocacy? Lack of comfort with the advocacy process. When there's no comfort with the advocacy process, this may create a roadblock to advocacy. When you don't have comfort in that process, and it's creating a kind of issue for you, that process. Not knowing where to start. That's actually cause for having adequate plan, having an effective plan of what you want to do. Don't know where to get help. You don't know who can even give you that particular help, who can assist you. When you don't know, this may create a barrier in getting help or in doing the advocacy. Feeling that you are not expert enough to advocate. When you have the inferiority complex, that may also be a barrier in advocacy. So before we go to the next topic, I want to put a scenario to you so that we can also think. Let us just rub minds together and decide how we can form an advocacy. We can do an advocacy to ensure we help as such a service user. Let's pick a person living with a lady that is affected by obstetric fistula. If a person is affected by obstetric fistula, you've been able to identify such an individual, and you have, as a social worker, you have mobilized that particular individual, that particular lady, that particular girl from a rural community. You've been able to take her to the facility to get repaired. And the lady, before the lady got the repair, she had been abandoned, she'd been living alone, she had faced a number of social issues, including stigma, silence, divorce, and all of that. Apart from the physical discomfort she had suffered, she had also suffered a number of social consequences. Now, the lady had been repaired, and we want to get her back into the society through reintegration, rehabilitation and reintegration. The hospital, the facility treatment has ended, and the lady is discharged. And you, as a social worker, you are the first person who has, although she has seen you as savior, and she's repaired now. She want to get back to normal life. She want to get back to her dignity. So how do you assist her? Let us discuss. As a social worker, from that point, after treatment, how do you assist her? I mean, after discharge, how do you assist her get back to the community? How do you assist her get back a job? How do you assist her to be on her own through empowerment? How do you convince our community or our family to take her back in terms of reintegration? And we need to do advocacy. How do you design an advocacy strategy to help her? Yeah, let's discuss in 5 minutes. In 9 minutes. So you can come up with all we have discussed and just make your comment, and we'll take it as a discussion in the class. Okay, I'm listening. If you want, okay, raise your electronic hand so that I can call you if you have an idea of what to do. Yes, I'm listening. Everyone must talk.
But can you repeat it again? I'm not getting it. Okay.
Please, sir, can you repeat it again, please? Sorry, sir, we did not really get
You didn't get it.
didn't get
Okay.
it. We did not get error. Yes, sir.
Heard about fistula?
So I never heard about this kind of my whole life.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, fistula. Let me just explain because we are still learning. Fistula is a medical term and is a public health concern. It's a public health condition that is usually experienced after or during childbirth, and it is an abnormal hole. It is an abnormal hole that develop as a result of prolonged obstructed labor, and this leads to continuous leaking of urine, and that hole is between the vagina and the bladder, and that is why it is called VVF. Have you heard about VVF? It is called VVF. It is the VVF, vaginal fistula. You see, during childbirth, those that are affected will continuously leak. That will be an abnormal hole. It's like a tear between the vagina and the bladder, and the person will not be able to control urine any longer. The urine will just be coming up all the time. That is why it is vaginal fistula, VVF. If it is between the bladder, if it is between the rectum and the vagina, and the bladder and the vagina is rectal, that is why it is RVF, rectovaginal fistula. That is leaking of feces. But don't bother yourself with the technical term, just for you to understand that leaking urine is the fistula. Leaking urine, fistula is an abnormal hole anyway, but it leads to incontinence, leaking urine, uncontrollable. So there are people like that that are affected as a result of prolonged obstructed labor. That has been the major cause anyway. People not attending attending hospital when it is required during pregnancy, or that they are not being attended to by skilled at scale 8 personnel. But what is important here is that people that are facing these conditions, when they have such problem, they are taken to hospital and they are repaired. They did surgery on them to close that particular hole and they become dry. So before that will happen, the spouse will have left her. She will have spent all she had, maybe no more income for her. And at a point in time, the husband may even abandon her. So when it happens, such an individual, if she gets help, she may go to the hospital. And the hospital where they are specialized hospital where they provide specialized treatment and they close this gap. And when such a person is repaired, that is when she becomes normal. She want to come back to the society. You know, she has lost everything before coming to the hospital. How do you want to help that particular individual? She's alone now. She's alone. No, she has no support, but you are the only support now. As a social worker, you have linked her to the hospital. So you want to assist her. How do you use advocacy to assist her further after the treatment in hospital? You know, after hospital, our people say after 6, we have millions. So after hospital, when she is discharged in the hospital people, the hospital personnel, they have concluded their own work. But she will come back to the society to live with us. How does he come back to the society to live normally? How do you bring back our dignity? By using advocacy. I'm now asking, using advocacy strategy, how do you assist her? That we should discuss it together. Is it clear now?
Yes.
So
Okay,
let
sir.
somebody put it.
Let me come in here. Let me just try.
Please.
Okay.
Please go on.
From what you have said so far, I will first of all ask pertinent questions to myself before undergoing that advocacy. I want to ask myself about what do I really want to achieve? What I want to achieve is reintegrating her back to the society. Then I'll ask myself again, how can I make this happen? Most times, maybe the strategy I want to use, the advocacy strategy I want to use, may not just require only me. I may need the help of others in counseling. These are the questions I would like to ask myself. Then, how can I make it happen? And what does she want to hear? What do I really possess those things she wants to hear? Then I will bring her close, having asked myself these questions, and then assess her personally, know the kind of whether she's timid, whether she can adapt easily, and then I will begin the process of counseling, giving her that psychosocial support first in trying to tell her that she's not alone.
We can no longer hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Any other addition? Let somebody take it up from where. Okay.
Yes. Billy.
The network is not your friend over there.
But I'm hearing you clearly.
I can no longer hear anything.
But we are hearing you, sir.
In terms of financial assistance, hello? Hello?
Wow. Okay. Ekadiola, we cannot hear you. You making effort, but we cannot hear you. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, sorry, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cannot hear you. Okay, please go ahead. Yes,
can you hear?
We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
hear.
go ahead, Situ, go ahead. Let's allow
Yes, sir.
Situ.
In addition to what she says, Nigeria, as religious as we are, I will first of all gather the head of our family or our immediate neighbors, sir, to show them how destiny can fall on every one of the society. So as this young lady or this woman found herself in this situation, it is not her doing. I will use and quote from scriptures in order to weaken their body to accept her in a short period of time. And again, to show them that uh, 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 the stigma or the hatred that they are or calling her names will not help her to reintegrate to live peacefully in the society. I will show them the negative side of this stigma showing on people that experience such medical ailment. And again, if there is need
All
for
right.
financial
Thank you. Thank you. You have made a good point. So any other one?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me,
Thank
sir?
you, Situ. Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, to my own perspective, sir, we can use 5 P's to analyze these issues.
Okay.
One of my sisters has already stated some point, which I will not go back again. Let me start from the 5 P of theory of Ellen. He said the 5 P is the person who has the problem. That is Mrs. Her name is the one who has the problem, and the place she went to is the hospital that they discharge her. So after discharging her, so what is the problem she has? Is the VVF. That is the partial vagina peninsula. If I'm right, sir. So and
Fesco vagina fistula.
Fistula, yes. Who attended to her? So those are the social workers. So they are the professional who attended to her.
Oh,
the only
sorry.
the
We
only
have lost. You have lost your audio.
yeah.
The network is not friendly this evening.
Hello, sir. Are you hearing me, sir?
Wow.
Hello, sir.
We can hear him clearly.
Well, we can no longer hear you, sir.
Oh, all right. So the only thing how we do is that they first of all go to the leaders in the community to table her problem to them so that she will not feel shy. And after that, they will connect him to the philanthropists, how they will help her to regain all what she has lost. So that is my submission, sir.
And also do follow up.
Hello, sir. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
I think his network is bad. We have lost him. We can't hear him anymore. We can't hear him anymore. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I think the network is not our friend. Perhaps maybe we'll continue from here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We can.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you. Yes, sir.
Can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We are hearing you, sir.
Hello. We can hear you.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
we
We
can
can
hear
You,
Wow.
sir. His network is
Okay.
bad.
The network is not friendly this evening.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, sir.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay,
Yes, we can. Yes, sir.
I think we can continue from here. I want to thank everyone that has spoken on this, but I expected that number one, all you have said are relevant, but I expected you to have stated it in a sequential manner so that we can understand. You can link it to what we have discussed, which is advocacy. It is good that you need to identify, number one, you need to identify where do you take your advocacy to. Well, you need to understand, you need to understand the environment, understand the situation where you are, where that lady is, where even you.
So we can no longer hear you.
I'm sorry, the network is not friendly. The network is not friendly. Okay, just think about response. Think about the response in respect to what we discussed this evening with regards to that advocacy. Understand the situation, understand the environment, and identify where you can pay advocacy. Among areas you can pay advocacy to, you can identify the influential people in the community of that lady, or in any area. When you do that, you can approach them for support. You can approach them for support, especially for empowerment, because you need to put her back on economic support, maybe empowerment. Perhaps she's a tailor. How do you assist her get machine back? Maybe she's into trading. How do you empower her back to start that trading? You can identify those philanthropies that can be of assistance. You can also enroll, and you can also get in touch with social welfare ministry, or this social welfare ministry or women affairs ministry, or any agency that you know that is in charge of social protection. When you can pay an advocacy visit to the social protection agency in your state, that you have a service user, you have a client that needs support because it's also vulnerable. And social protection programs are meant for the vulnerable. You can do that. If that one is not available, you can reach out to the Ministry of Women Affairs, because what their primary responsibility is to better the lot of the women in particular. The men are not included in their own mandate. You can reach out to the either commissioner or the permanent secretary, or even the director of that ministry, that if there are programs that will be of benefit to such an individual, they should just enroll her into that particular program. If you know politicians around your community or in a community, or the politician that you also know as a social worker, those you have had contact with, maybe during the course of your own work, you have been able to contact some important personality, dignitaries in the society. You can link her up for support, especially for economic support, for social support in terms of integration. I think the person that talk about reaching out to religious people, religious bodies, is also a point. You can reach out, you can identify the religion that is predominant in that particular community, and you reach out to them so that in their mosque, in their churches, they can start to accept somebody with such kind of condition. They should, so that you try to educate them about the need to remove the stigma. To remove the stigma. There's need to organize a program for them to understand why they need to reduce stigma, or to even remove stigma from their orientation, the way they perceive people that have been affected by such a condition, that misconception should be removed. You can also encourage them to also have good care-seeking behavior and good preventive practices, so that in future such will not occur in their environment. One way or the other, you are educating them. One way or the other, you are trying to enlighten them so that such will not happen. That is an advocacy. With that, that particular individual will be accepted back into the society. And if such happens in future, it will have been a better opportunity to enlighten them, especially the men. If any of their wives will have such, they should not abandon her. They should take her as she is. They should respect her dignity as well, because she's not destined to live with that condition. It's just unfortunate that during childbirth, what's supposed to be a joy turned to be sorrow for the family. And at the end of the day, the husband will just abandon, even run away, and even members of the family will even abandon her. So you can do that among many that you can do. You can also think about many more strategies that you can use so that that particular individual can be helped in the society and dignity can be brought back to the society. So thank you so much. So quickly, I don't know if you can, if the network will be our friend, we can quickly consider emotional resilience, so that when next we meet, we can close. I mean, we can wrap up the class and have time to discuss so many other things that are related to this particular course. So we'll go to emotional resilience. Someone asked if I should share the screen. You already have the material, please go through, because the network is not actually helping. So if I want to share now, it may also give me a kind of issue as well. Please, you can just go along with me, and I believe you will understand better. So we go to emotional resilience. You know, as a social worker, like the one I've just described, you have important job. Your job is very important in helping others, because the one I just described now, that we just consider as an example for advocacy, is a way of helping people that are disadvantaged or people that are vulnerable. So as social worker, you have important job, and this requires enormous skill for you to cope with that particular job. So one important skill that is needed is emotional resilience. Emotional resilience means being able to handle and recover from problems and challenges. Being able to handle and recover from problems and challenges. There are two things. You need to handle and also recover from problems and challenges. It is the mental reservoir of strength that people are able to call on in times of need, to carry them through without falling apart. How many of us possess that emotional resilience? When things happen, do you throw emotion into do you just throw caution into the wind? When things happen, when things do not happen the way you have planned, do that condition change you positively or the other way? Resilient people are able to utilize their skills and strength to cope and recover from problems and challenges. That skill you have, you are able to utilize that skill and strength even when you have problems. You say most Nigeria, we are so resilient in what we do, but at times, social worker, you are expected to be more resilient than any other person in the society. Such problems and challenges may include job loss, financial problems, illness, natural disasters, medical emergencies, divorce, or the death of a loved one. When this happens, are we resilient? Even the pastors, the imam, they preach all this. But when they happen, do we actually take to the teachings? So emotional resilience is about getting having self-control, you can control yourself, having social support, being optimistic, ability to solve problems, emotional awareness, you believe in yourself, and sense of humor. I wouldn't know whether you have read in the newspaper of a professor of University of Cambridge last week that was accused of plagiarism all his life in the university, and eventually I think professor just died miraculously within few weeks of that accusation. I wouldn't know whether you read the news or not. You see, when such happens, life must continue, because I wouldn't know the cause of the death. If he had taken his life himself, that does not stop life from going on. All of us that are alive now will continue to live in the same life. And the same thing for those that commit suicides. Those that commit suicide because of one thing or the other, it means that they don't have emotional resilience. So social workers are expected to have much more resilience than any other person. Even though most of us will say we are so resilient in what we do, but when the reality is done on us, do we actually show that resilience? So, what are the benefits of emotional resilience? Remember, in resilience, when you have emotional resilience, you are able to handle problems and you are able to cope with that problem without falling apart. In that regard, in terms of need, you try to utilize skill and strength to cope, and you use it to recover from problems and challenges. And that is, you handle and you recover from problems and challenges with the skills that you have as social workers. So let's see some benefits of emotional resilience. By understanding and harnessing this benefit, you can develop the necessary skills to thrive in the face of adversity and make a positive difference in the lives of those we support. So, we've been talking about our clients, we've been talking about our service user, and this time we want to talk about ourselves as social workers. What are those skills that we need to possess? You remember, we are talking about competencies, core competencies. As social worker, is one of those things that will allow people, that will enable people to see you as being competent. Benefit of emotional resilience: better coping with stress. When there is stress, you have a better coping mechanism with that particular stress. Increase problem-solving skills. When there are problems, you develop skill to solve them. It's not that you run away from the problem. In as much as we live in this life, we are bound to face problems. We are bound to face challenges. And when these challenges come, we must devise solutions to solve those problems so that we can live with those challenges, or we can just overcome the hurdles that those challenges may pose. Enhance adaptability. We need to, how do we adapt? How do we live with that particular situation when it comes? Improved well-being and mental health. Remember, the overall goal of any social welfare program or package is the long-term well-being of an individual. Long-term well-being of an individual. Any intervention you want to give out must look at the long-term well-being of an individual. That is when that intervention can be sustainable. You do not look at short-term. You're looking at, if you have emotional resilience, it means that your well-being will be improved and the standard will be raised, and your mental health as well. Positive influence on others. You will be able to influence others. Many of us, we have our temperament is not that good, that when things happen, we may let don't let me use that language. So we want everything will become scattered because of certain things, because of certain challenges, because of some problem. Even if it happens in our workplaces. So what we do is develop the habit of emotional resilience so that we can adapt with that particular challenge. So better coping with stress, I think I've explained it. Emotional resilience helps you handle stress more effectively. Like it allows you to stay calm and composed in challenging situations. For example, when facing difficult circumstances as a result of secondary trauma, such as limited resources or high pressure situations in your workplace, your emotional resilience enables you to manage your emotions and think clearly. It helps you stay focused on finding solutions and making the best decision. You do not add problem to problem. When there is a problem, nip that problem in the bud so that it will not germinate, so to say, so that that problem will not extend its tentacles. That is, you are coping with that particular stress. Increase problem solving skill. I think I've explained that when there are problems, you have your ability to solve problems improves. It enables you to think creatively and find innovative solutions to the problem you encounter. As adaptability. This is also promote adaptability, which is crucial in a dynamic environment like ours. It allows you to adjust to unexpected changes and find new ways to accomplish your goals. When things change, what do you do? When the price of petroleum was increased, what coping mechanism did you devise? If you are using 3 cars, you now decide to use only 1 car or 2 cars. If you use car alone to travel a lot, you now reduce it to going by public transport. So you are adapting to that particular situation so that you can just continue to manage your resources. So as a field officer, you may encounter situations where your plans need to be modified due to external factors or emerging needs. Emotional resilience helps you navigate these challenges and adapt your strategies accordingly. It is emotional resilience that you possess that will enable you to do that. Improve well-being and mental health. I think I've explained that. And the positive influence on others. Your emotional resilience can inspire and positively impact those around you. As field officer, you serve as a role model for the community members and your colleagues. When you become unstable as a result of, so in social work, you are not supposed to be emotional because you are a man or because something has happened and you also break into tears. Something unexpected happens and you break down. A woman, maybe as a mother, you feel I'm also a mother and you break down. And someone is there looking at you to salvage a situation, and already you have become a kind of issue for them. You have become a problem again for them. So social workers will not become a problem for the society to solve, for people around him or her to also solve. You must put that. You must be wary of that, and you should also be mindful every time, anytime we are trying to practice what we say, we profess. So you must be mindful of what we do. You must be mindful of our conduct. You must be mindful of our emotional disposition at all times because of that tag, social worker. So we should not be source of a problem to any person. We should be a kind of model. We should be a kind of influence to others positively. We should influence others positively so that people look up onto us as good examples. So by demonstrating emotional resilience, you encourage others to face challenges with strength and determination. Your ability to remain resilient in the face of adversity can inspire hope and motivate others to overcome their own difficulties as well. What makes some people more resilient than others? Think of 2 people you know, one who is very resilient and one who is not. What are the differences? These are the differences you will see in them: self-belief, purposiveness, adaptability, and social support. Look at the figure I saw when we started on emotional resilience. That first picture, you can see self-belief there, purposiveness, adaptability, and social. These are the differences you will see. So let's take it one after the other. Self-belief. Having self-belief means having confidence in yourself. Do you believe in yourself? Do you still have inferiority complex that you cannot do things? Like in advocacy, you should not have that inferiority complex. Have that belief in yourself that you can do it. You remember the slogan of Barack Obama when he was the president. If I can, others will also be able to do it. So you should believe in yourself. So I believe I can do it. You should also believe you can do. So have that self-belief, and it means that you have confidence in yourself and your ability. It is about believing that you can handle challenges and overcome them. For example, as a social worker, having self-belief means trusting in your skills and knowledge to make a positive impact in the community. It means believing that you have what it takes to face difficulties and find solutions. Purposiveness. Being purposeful means having a clear sense of your goals. Do you know where you are going? Do you know your objectives? Do you know your destination? And the reason behind your work. Why are you embarking on certain intervention? You need to set that goal. That is, you have a purpose. It is about understanding why you do what you do and staying focused on your mission. You stay focused on your mission. If you believe in what you do and you have a purpose for doing it, you will not derail. Nothing will happen around you that will change your mind because you have a mission. You have a focus and you know where you are going and you have a mission you want to fulfill. As a social worker, having purpose means knowing that your work is important and that you are making a difference in people's lives. It means staying committed to your purpose even when faced with obstacles. There may be intervening factors around that may disturb you. You remain focused. And that is when you can achieve. Adaptability is the ability to adjust and respond to changing circumstances, like we explained the other time. Social support refers to the people around you who provide emotional, practical, and informational assistance, people around you that can also support you as an individual. It is about having a network of supportive individuals who can offer guidance and encouragement. In your role as a field officer, social support can come from your colleagues, supervisors, the community you serve. They can provide that support for you. You know what happens when you have an occasion? People come around you. You don't care whether they give you anything or not, whether they give you money or not. What you care about, you want to see them around you. Seeing them around you means that you have a support, which means your community, people in your community have come to support you in what you are doing. Meaning that you are important in their midst. That is why they are giving you that support. When you see them, you are at ease. When you see them, you are happy because you have people surrounding you. So these are differences that you see in people with emotional resilience and those that don't have emotional resilience. Strategy to develop emotional resilience. Building self-awareness, like we said the other time, take time to understand your own emotions and reactions to different situations. Take time to understand your own. Reflect on how you typically respond to stress and adversity. Seeking support. Reach out to trusted colleagues, like we talked about social support the other time. This is a strategy to build. Reach out to your colleagues, friends, or family member when you need guidance or listening ear. Sharing your experiences and concerns can provide emotional support and perspective. Don't just keep it to yourself. People say problems shared is problem solved. For instance, if you encounter a particular challenge situation in the field, discuss it with a fellow field officer or supervisor who can help you gain insight and explore potential solutions. Developing healthy coping mechanism. Engage in activities that promote relaxation and stress reduction, not just work. This could include exercise, hobbies, spending time in nature. For example, you can take a walk in the community after a long day's work or engage in a creative activity. like drawing or listening to music. This activity can help you unwind and recharge. Don't just continue to do work and work and work and work. The stress will continue to pile up, and you know the consequence of stress. So, and when you have emotional resilience, you'll be able to cope with that stress. So that is why you need to find time to develop healthy coping mechanism. 6 hours. Take time to relax. Take time to have a walk around. Take time to also listen to maybe news. Take time to watch films. Take time to do some other exercise and some other things that will just take you away from the normal routine, from the normal routine that you are used to. That is why, you know, those in the civil service, those people that design the civil service, they have time for leave. Why do they plan that leave? But many of us, we don't value that leave. We are only interested in getting money. Even when we have the leave, we will not rest. We'll go somewhere else to be doing some other things. Instead for us to go and rest or move away from the normal environment, from your usual environment, and go to somewhere else to enjoy another breeze, to enjoy another environmental goodness. Let me put it that way, in another environment, different from where the one you are used to. So these are some of the healthy coping mechanisms that you can also engage in. Practicing positive thinking. Forget about negative thinking all the time. That is why I marvel when people continue to run negative narratives about Nigeria. Does it mean we don't have good things about Nigeria? Does it mean we don't have Nigeria that has been great? Why can't we be promoting this? So stop negative thinking. Always practice positive thinking. Even when you talk positively. It's not that you must be optimistic where you are to be pessimistic. It's not that. But you need to be more, you need to have a kind of moderation. You need to ensure that more positive things are coming into your mind, are coming into your brain. Have positive thinking. When you have positive thinking, you also know that has impact on your health as well. Cultivate a positive mindset by focusing on the strength and successes in your work. Remember yesterday, I mentioned about emphasizing strength. Don't dwell more on weaknesses. Even in our personal life, we should not dwell more on our weaknesses. Look at those things that are strength. Look at your successes. Think about those success stories that have brought you to the level you are. No, I was reading an article yesterday. I was listening to I was listening to someone on the social media telling us, trying to tell us that the mistake we make in this part of the world is the fact that we always concentrate, we always emphasize what is missing in our life. We don't emphasize what we have. We emphasize what is missing only. And that thing that is missing is the one that is disturbing our life. Whereas we have 101 things that we have that can make us happy. But we'll be thinking about only one out of 101 that is not making us happy. And that one will disrupt our whole system. Why is it like that? It's because we practice negative thinking. So we should embrace, as social workers, we should embrace positive thinking. This will enhance and strengthen our emotional resilience. So think about the strength that you possess. Think about those happy moments in your life. Think about the successes you have had in your work. Think about the success stories people have narrated about you. So forget about those things that did not give you any accomplishment. Talk about your accomplishments. Remind yourself of the positive impact you have made. Remind yourself of areas where people have actually commended you. Don't look at those gray areas only. So emphasize positive thinking, setting realistic goals. You know, we talk about SMART in objective setting, in trying to set our objectives. I hope you still remember SMART. When you are setting your objective must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. You know, in that order. An objective may be achievable, but may not be realistic. So, but when you are setting your objective, for you to have enhanced emotional resilience, your objective must be realistic. An objective may be achievable, but may not be realistic. For example, if you are a level 13 officer, and you are looking at, okay, from level 13, you want to you want to have a house in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, as a level 13 officer, maybe working in Oyo State or working in Ekiti State or working in Anambra State, and you are a level 13 officer, you want to have a house in Abuja. The amount of money you use to buy land in Abuja is enough to build 2 or 3 houses in your village. You see, that objective is achievable, right? But it's not realistic. It's not realistic based on your income. So break down your work into smaller, manageable tasks and set realistic goals. Goals that you know you can achieve. Goals that you know you can reach. Destination that you know you can get to within the time frame. Don't build castle in the air. That is what we are saying here. That is what gives people mostly problems. This is what gives most people problems in the society, because they set unrealistic goals most times. Someone that cannot be a counselor, that if he contests to be a counselor in his ward, such a person may not win. You will say you want to be the governor of the state. You know, it's possible. It's achievable, but it's achievable not by him, by some other people who are more qualified, who have more resources than he or she has. So this helps prevent feeling overwhelmed and promote a sense of accomplishment. You cannot be jack of all trades. You need to be specific. Embracing flexibility. Don't be too rigid in what you do. Allow ideas to come in. Give room for change. Allow modification. Don't try to set rigid rules. Understand that not everything will go according to plan. You don't create a watertight apartment. Be open to adapting and adjusting your strategies when needed. For example, if a community engagement program encounters unexpected obstacles, be flexible and explore alternative approaches rather than becoming discouraged. Being adaptable will allow you to navigate challenges more effectively. There was a time I had a program in Sokoto, and that was in 2022. It is more or less, and the program is all-embracing one. It included advocacy to ministry, to commissioners, to permanent secretaries, and so on and so forth. And there was need for us to reach out to a particular local government, and I was told it is Goronyo local government. That the place is about almost 100 kilometers to Sokoto metropolis. And because of this banditry and whatever, I couldn't go. So I had to change my plan on getting to Sokoto. I had to change my plan with the team members that are in Sokoto. So together we sat and we designed our program, just for us to accommodate the changes that we have. We couldn't go because of that changes, because of that unexpected happening. So we couldn't go there, and they said, no, nobody could just go to that place. Number one, it was far. Number two, the banditry and all this, the insecurity factor. So we couldn't go. There are areas like that you have to change. You have to change. So to be flexible in your program. When you are flexible, your mind is at rest. You don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. But when you are rigid, you have pressures. Practicing self-care. Don't forget about yourself as well. you are taking care of others, you should not forget about the health, your mental health, and everything that you feel you need to do about yourself. Take care of your physical and mental well-being, get enough rest, eat nutritious meals, and engage in activities that bring you joy. Engage in activities that bring you joy, not the one that will bring you sorrow, not the one that will lead you to some problems. So prioritize self-care to recharge and maintain resilience. For instance, make sure to allocate time for relaxation, hobbies, and spending time with loved ones. Those that will make you happy. Always spend your time with them. Don't spend time with those that will make you unhappy, that will make you angry at all times. Always spend your time where you know you can get joy. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think at this point we may have to draw the curtains of this lecture. If you have questions in 5 minutes, I think I can take the questions, or you have comments, so that we can do that within the few minutes that we have. So thank you. Yes, questions?
Hello, sir.
I'm with you. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. I really appreciate your lecture, sir. Particularly the last aspect that you treated this evening, sir, regarding the rigidity. In fact, the language is very, very interesting to me, because at times, if I want to take a decision on a particular issue, I used to address the issue aggressively. So, but by receive this kind of lecture now, at least it's softening my mind, so that not all time that you want to win, so that you left a particular set of things for some other issues, which can make you happy. Because if you put two, you want to kill one bird, want to kill two birds with one stone, at times it may be difficult to achieve that. So I love that the last language that you are the last aspect of this lecture. So in fact, that's my comment, sir.
Okay, thank you. It's an important one, because as you grow old, or as you grow older, there are certain things that you need to embrace, apart from being a social worker. In your own personal life, when you grow old, what will confront you will be different from what you have been facing before. Will be different. So that is why one needs to develop this, to allow this to be part of yourself, so that when it become part of you, you continue to live happily, even when you become citizens. So may God help us. So thank you for that comment. So do we have any other question? So I want to thank you most sincerely if you have no questions, because it's getting the time is fast spent, and next time when we will have the opportunity, perhaps next week, if we are to meet next Saturday, I may not have the opportunity of meeting with you. So if there is a lecture that Saturday or Sunday, just take it out. We'll find a different time to make up for that lecture. So we'll discuss the final lap of the program, which is the quality service delivery. Then we'll have time to discuss any other matter that may arise from our discussion so far. So once again, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to thank you for bearing with me with the little I could offer you on this platform for today. So until another time, when we have the opportunity, remain blessed. Bye-bye, and enjoy your little time before you start work tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Bye,
Thank
sir.
you so much, sir.
Really
Bye.
appreciate, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank
Take care,
you.
sir. Nice week.
Bye, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Now well done though.
Thank you, sir.
Now well done. Now well done, sir.
It is so funny that we're in the same class and don't know each other.
So boring that we
Ah,
don't know each other.
open
Where
open
where are
your
you from?
video now. Open
What is
your
it?
video now.
My
Okay.
video.
Adetiba, báwo ni?
Ah, good evening, Adupe.
Báwo iṣẹ́ ń
Yeah,
kọ́?
John.
Ṣé
Adupe.
àlàáfíà lẹ́wà?
Adupe.
Ẹ má jayé lọ,
How's
mo
your
tábà
band?
lọ sọ̀rọ̀. We are fine,
Eh?
thank you.
You are from which state?
I'm from Niger,
From which state?
Niger State.